Joey from Kinotek. Tell me, what is Kinotek?
So Kinotek is a movement assessment technology. By using just a single camera, we can analyze 65 different movements. So you're able to perform a movement, and in a matter of seconds, we provide joint range of motion, progress graphs, show the movement quality, pick up on asymmetries, compensations, 3D visualizations, everything that you would need from a biofeedback standpoint to be able to understand movement and be motivated to progress.
Very good pitch. I like it.
Thank you.
How are you doing that?
So we use LiDAR technology, and if you're not familiar with LiDAR, really what that enables us to do is map out space in 3D. And that's what's really a differentiator. With a single camera, even facing from the frontal plane, we're able to measure the spine. We're able to visualize from every angle exactly how the body is moving. So no longer reliant on a 2D video, you can pick up details 360 degrees that you otherwise may not be able to.
Is this a special camera and software, or are you using regular cameras to do that?
So we use a camera developed by Microsoft, but the software is really the secret sauce to be able to ingest 3D data and calculate in a matter of seconds, as well as animate what that movement looks like.
I know I've seen a few of these over the years that have been on the market.
Sure.
What's the sort of pros and cons of some of these type of systems?
Well, I think that for a long time, this was so expensive that most people could see the value but just couldn't afford the product. What we've really tried to do is create something that's accessible, easy to use, so a lot of the time it's information overload. I just need at a high level to get a snapshot of someone's movement at the right price point with relatable visuals so that someone who has no idea what movement analysis means can look at it, be motivated by it, understand it. One of the key differences too is there's no straps, sensors, wearables, there's no full room, there's no calibration. I like to think of it as like a motion capture lab that can fit in your backpack and you can take on the go.
What's the delivery mechanism? Is it through your phone or an app, or is it like you've got here, a camera in a facility?
Everything is online. So you take the camera, plug it into a computer through a USB, and as long as you have a Wi-Fi connection, able to get going. You can access it online, you can email reports. It's pretty cut and dry.
What's your business model then?
So it's a subscription model. You subscribe to the software, pay on an annual or monthly basis. There's no limit to the number of users, number of movements, number of screenings.
And would this be more of a B2B product or something that a consumer would use to pick up their movement on doing a particular exercise?
At the moment, it's a B2B product. So we sell to fitness centers around the country, as well as clinical, physical therapy, chiropractors. What we're developing now is the ability to gather this data beyond just the camera, opening this up to a B2B2C, so that if you're a fitness provider and you want your client to be able to analyze their movement from the comfort of their home before they step into your facility, Kinotek is going to enable that to happen.
How do you see this working in, like, would it be something you'd have in a traditional gym and someone would go in there to see how well they're squatting, or would it be you go a little bit further where a trainer would give them a workout and then they would be following how well they're doing those movements?
More so the former, though it could work in either instance. Really what we found is a lot of our customers like this to set a baseline. It differentiates the experience on your first visit to a facility, but they're able to get a snapshot on exactly how you're moving to sell services that will assist you in improving that, whether it's personal training or a class, and then to be able to demonstrate the efficacy of what they're providing by tracking that progress over time.
What do you think, like how much of a personalization are you focusing on? And so let's say you've got 10,000 50-year-old women.
Yeah.
And you know that they're 50-year-old women, and there's certain characteristics of someone when they get to that age. Are you able to look at some of these commonalities over a mass set of data and then make recommendations on certain things as well?
It's an excellent question. It's something that is possible that we are building right now. So the way that we do it, right now we create a reference range. So to make this information more understandable to the layperson, the first question they often ask is this good? What does this mean? Well, we need to give them a comparison. This is where you're at. This is what the general population is. We get that data currently from the American Medical Association. However, as we collect more and more data, so that 50-year-old woman inputs that information, now she can be compared to other 50-year-old women as far as a goal range or reference range where she wants to be. So that's in the works.
Right, and there's quite a few companies now incorporating AI into their products. Have you got AI in this product, and if not, is it something that you're thinking about incorporating into it?
So it's something that we are building out right now. The ability to measure movement in a 2D plane, so with video, but to make certain inferences as to how that would look and measure in 3D, we'll leverage AI. That's something in development as we speak.
Excellent. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Edward, Fitscope, tell me all about it.
Well, thank you for the opportunity. Fitscope is both an app and a production studio. So we film all of our own content. We film content for other apps as well. If you were to go on the Bowflex Journey app, for instance, about half the content there actually comes from Fitscope. So our content is seeded around the fitness industry quite a bit. But we have our own app as well. It's available in both the app stores, Android and iOS, and we create a version of our app that goes onto equipment consoles. So what we're demoing here is a console from Bodycraft, which is a commercial equipment manufacturer. And so all of our classes can be accessed on that. So you get a Bodycraft treadmill or Bodycraft elliptical machine, and there's a full library of Fitscope content to match that machine. We also work with console manufacturers, and so the consoles go out to many different equipment manufacturers, and again, the classes are bespoke for that machine.
Right, is it predominantly in a commercial setting, so for gyms, or would it be for home fitness?
Both. So for the console classes, those are commercial settings, so gyms, apartment complexes, hotels. For the home setting, we've got our apps in the App Store. So a user can download our Android or our iOS app, play it on their tablet or their phone. If they have a later, fancier bike, they can connect our app to the console on the bike. But if not, there's plenty of graphics on the video to kind of prompt the user and give them a better experience. We have graphics that show like the RPM and the resistance level that you should be doing so that you can follow along with the trainer.
So who would be your target client then? Are you going directly to the consumer and saying, look, we got lots of different equipment here, just download this and we can be your training partner? Or are you trying to sort of partner up specifically with certain equipment brands, or a little bit of both?
Well, we started in the home fitness market, and so about half of our user base is actually cardio machines, and in particular, the elliptical machine. So we've got thousands of customers at home who are elliptical fanatics, and so we've kind of grown from there. But obviously during the pandemic, there was a huge surge of users of fitness equipment at home. People are going back to the gyms now, so we're following that user base back to the gyms, and hence we're starting to partner with the manufacturers so that when a gym buys an equipment, or when an apartment complex buys or outfits their workout room with equipment, they order equipment with consoles on it that has Fitscope on it. And
right.
Therefore, the gym members or apartment users, they can all use Fitscope classes as if they were a home user.
And are you selling the screens, or is it the software?
It's the content.
It's the content, right.
Yeah, we make our software available for free to the manufacturers to install. So we just want our software out there on as many devices as possible.
Right. And how many devices would you say you're on at the moment then? What's the scale of the company? I've not seen you before, that's why I asked.
Right, well, it's thousands.
Okay.
It's not yet millions, but it's definitely thousands. Because we sell sometimes to manufacturers and we don't necessarily know how many devices they're putting Fitscope on. But we look at our number of users, and at any given time, there are thousands of people using Fitscope.
And what's your revenue model then? Would it be to rent the software to a manufacturer and then they pay you a subscription based on the number of screens, or is it you'll get the end user to pay you to use the app?
Well, our primary model has been direct-to-consumer subscriptions. So we're pretty cheap, $15 a month or $100 for an annual subscription. And then increasingly, the manufacturers are starting to sell 1 year or multi-year memberships to apartment complexes and gyms and whatnot. And then the manufacturer gets a revenue share of that as well.
Right, okay. And what would you say would be your strength then? Is it creating like these really nice videos that we can see behind us, or is it developing some really cool software where you can have metrics from how hard you're performing and that kind of stuff?
Our real strength is in production. We started out as a content production studio. That's why we're based in Los Angeles, and there's a lot of great trainers here, and that's really what sets our content apart from other people is our trainers. However, in this marketplace, you really have to have strong technology to kind of get your content out there on as many devices as possible. And so over the last 4 years, we've built up our own app development team. And we don't use proprietary APIs or anything like that. Everything we do is Bluetooth, and therefore it's available for other companies to work with.
Right. And what about what you mentioned some of the sort of metrics? Like what are some of the key metrics that you're putting out with your with the different products, for example?
Well, so every piece of cardio equipment has their own specific metrics. So rowing machines have strokes per minute, 500-meter split. So we capture that on our rowing
How are you
classes
capturing that?
Via Bluetooth FTMS.
Okay.
So to actually sync our app with your machine, the machine's got to be a model that's got Bluetooth FTMS. And so for every machine, so a spin bike or treadmill, we've got the metrics specific to that machine as part of the metrics that are available on our app. In the event the user doesn't have a later model machine, we put a ton of graphics on it, as I was mentioning earlier, to kind of give them the connected experience, even though it's not really connected.
Right. And I've seen there's some strength stuff. Well, I did see some strength things. So what are you doing on the strength side, and are you able to provide any metrics for strength?
Not as many. For strength, it's more instructional. So, we show the correct form, and we'll highlight certain movements that people should be making. We recently did a series for Bodycraft for a functional trainer, which is a cable machine. And so they are putting a screen on the back of the functional trainer. So it's it's kind of a new entrance into the functional trainer category to put a digital monitor on a strength, a cable pulley machine. And so for that, we've done a series of 50 classes for each potential exercise you could be doing on that machine. So, there's a 15-minute class on arms, there's a 15-minute class on glutes, and that shows exactly how to do the exercise, and then you can actually follow along with the trainer.
Right. And is that with using audio and music, or is it just like people telling you what to do? What's the communication?
It's both. So yeah, there's always a good playlist along with all of this stuff. But then the trainer is going along and explaining it and then doing the reps with you. So it's completely follow along.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much.
Well, thank you.
I appreciate your time, Edward.
Thank you.
Lubo and Ashkan, the company's called SRTV. Is that right?
STRV.
Oh, STRV. All right. Tell us what STRV does.
We are a digital product powerhouse. We focus on building custom digital products and basically partnering up with clients from all sorts of industries to help them with technology and bring their mobile apps, websites to life.
There's many companies doing this. What makes you guys different, and who are some of the people that you're working with?
So you want to take that one?
I'd say our attention to detail in terms of making sure the user experience is exactly what's going to get the most positive reaction out of the client's consumers. You have to understand what the client's specific problems are that they're looking to solve, and then turn that into a fantastic user experience. That's what we've done for companies like Porsche, Tinder, Berries, The Athletic, Barnes & Noble, the list goes on.
Right. A mix of different industries and brands. What would you say is the common theme across all of those different industries, from Tinder to Porsche and now to Arnold Schwarzenegger that you're working with?
Yeah, they all have disruptive ideas, and it comes down to how are you going to solve that through a digital experience. So nothing that we build is very basic or very simple. It's all pretty sleek, pretty kick-ass, pretty next level, and very forward-thinking.
Right. And what are some of the things that people are coming here today looking for that probably hasn't been as popular maybe in the last couple of years? Are there any new features or innovations or things from a technical perspective that your clients feel are quite important?
Yeah, so I could take a stab at it, and then Lubo could add to that. But right now, we're seeing a lot of brands in the health and fitness sector that have some sort of a physical location, and they want to find the right formula to blend that with their mobile or digital experience. They don't want the relationship with their digital properties to be disjointed from the relationship with their physical presence. So that's number one. Number two is just overall personalization and customization. How do you make sure that the app is reminding the user, prompting the user, alerting them, or talking to them in a much more personalized and customized way, so that it just doesn't feel so blanket.
To that, I would say that there are a couple of other trends that we definitely see gaining importance. One of them clearly being AI. I think nearly all the companies that are here today are exploring how AI can help them in running their business and optimizing things and doing all sorts of stuff, because it's an untapped territory and everybody is trying to look into what it can bring, and there is a huge potential in my opinion. And the other thing that I would mention that it's also with the very recent launch of Vision Pro, I think AR and VR is gaining a lot more popularity again, and I feel like this is just the beginning of new era, because the form factor of the device and the quality are going to be increasing, and the price is hopefully going to be decreasing. So I think that a lot of companies that are here today are seeing this potential and are trying to explore how they could leverage it to their benefit.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much. Appreciate your time, guys.
More than welcome.
Bhout, what's happening?
Oh, Matthew, a lot. So we just finished the hardware and the software. We are in pre-production, starting production Q2. We are turning the human body into the ultimate gaming machine. So we are actually using the body to interact with Exer games via our smart boxing bag.
You've raised quite a bit of money. Tell us a little bit about how much you raised and what are you using it for your company?
So we just raised a seed round of 10 million euros, so close to $11 million. A big chunk of it, as you imagine, is manufacturing, and the other part is growth and team. So we have three verticals. The vertical we are exploring more this year is actually expanding our club chains. So we are moving from 1 to 20 this year in 3 different countries and 2 continents. So that's a lot of work. Towards the end of the year, as we get more and more inventory, we are moving into B2B. We actually have advanced negotiations with companies like LinkedIn, who want our bags, like the Marriott hotels, like some fitness change. So that will be a huge part of our business. And later, maybe 2 years from now, we would move into B2C. We don't want to rush it. We want to build the community first, the clubs in real life, and only then we will transition into the digital world.
Now, I know you've had to practice your pitches quite a lot to investors. So give us a 30 to 45 second overview of what Bhout is and why people should be interested in it.
Well, we say that we've developed, or we created the world's first boxing bag with a brain. So that you have an idea about the technology, we can now process a strike in 200 milliseconds. So 5 strikes per second. And in that time, the bag understands strike count, accuracy, power, speed. It understands your technique, compares you with a pre-trained biomechanical model, and it understands your exertion. So you gain points from the first 5 elements, and you lose points from exertion. I don't know if you ever sparred before, but if you are the first one to get tired, it's not good. It's not looking good for you. So we give you points for these 5 elements, and you lose points for exertion. This might be the closest thing to actually fighting someone. At least we measure everything that is tangible in a real fight without actually getting hurt. So we are building an Exer game, so exercise plus game. We've partnered with the university, we've partnered with the Olympic Committee to actually take this and make this an Olympic sport. So it's still a long way, but we believe that we have the only hardware and software that can make an Exer game like e-boxing thing. And you know that fighting sports are growing exponentially all around the world. So we are taking that into the digital world, and hopefully take people that actually don't like to exercise, the vast majority, and having them start and stay with us, which is most important.
And in the next, let's say, 3 to 5 years, what do you think, if, providing your plans are successful, like what will we be seeing around as it relates to Bhout? Will we have these in people's homes? Will there be Bhout studios in the high street? Like what are you building, and where will that be in 3 to 5 years' time?
So I'll give you the 10-year projection. So we always say that we want to have 1 million bags and 1,000 clubs in the next 10 years. So that's the main goal. Over the next 3 or 4 years, we will probably see Bhout rising to 400, 500 units, clubs. You will see us in hotels, in corporate offices, in gyms. And by that time, you already see us in people's homes. And by then, I think we will also have all the regulations to have Bhout being an actual exergame sport.
Fantastic. Well, thank you very much. Appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Nikhil, video infrastructure for babies.
Right.
Tell me about what this is.
Absolutely. So I'm with Mux, and we are basically video simplified, video API solution. This book is actually our most famous piece of swag because everyone loves to be explained to things in terms of just the simplest way, right? So we made a baby book for people to be able to go read through it and understand the basics of what we do from a video perspective. There's a lot of things that happen with video when you click play on like Netflix or YouTube. It's like a 12, 14-step process on the back end. We created an API that simplifies all of that with one line of code. It's used by really awesome brands like Strava, who's here today as well at the Connected Health and Fitness Summit, as well as Equinox. We have a lot of really cool fitness brands, although we work with any company that does video anywhere. So that means live stream video, on-demand video. We also have a data piece, a platform that tracks streams at a very granular level. So, Fox Sports uses for the Super Bowl, HBO, Paramount, a lot of big M&E customers that we have uses specifically for that. You can use the data piece separately, you can use the video piece separately, but if you use Mux Video, then data comes free. So a lot of really cool applications for it, like if you're ever looking to build TikTok style, like fluid video, like a really boutique kind of feeling when someone comes onto your app or your website, Mux is a great way to get started with that. It's free to sign up, and it's all utility based, so you only pay for what you use.
What would be, for here in this Connected Fitness event, like who would be your target audience, and what would be a key product that people are probably asking for in the fitness space, would you say?
It's a great question. Target would definitely be technology folks like CTOs, directors of engineering, who are maybe looking to add that video piece into their application as a way to increase engagement, keep eyeballs on the app or the website. Also for people that are kind of tired of managing their own video stack and they want something simpler, they want something easy. We're founded by developers, made for developers, so it is very tech central. And that would be the most ideal person to talk to, is someone who kind of manages all of that workload on their side.
So for the sort of baby, as I class myself, what would be the result of what you do? So, because I know nothing about this, and everything you've said is way over my head. But what, for me, as a business owner, we sell fitness equipment to gyms. What would be the sort of end product that I could say, oh yeah, that would be great for us to have that either on our website or on our app? How would you sort of dumb that down? Yeah,
really just making any video streams that you have within your product, within your physical product, like the hardware, making it work properly, making sure it's working effectively, quickly, and when it's not working, figuring out why. Why is this not working? Why is this video stream?
When you say not working, do you mean what would or wouldn't be working in it then?
Anything from rebuffering issues to playback failures when you click play on something and it just sits there and doesn't load. Kind of mitigating all of that and figuring out at the core what's causing that. That's the data piece. And then the video piece is obviously enabling you to stream out to your audience. It's scalable. Anybody who maybe purchases a piece of equipment, if they want to watch a workout video, being able to get that to them in the most efficient, optimized way.
And what are people doing? So what would be the difference of them sort of putting it into like a regular player like Vimeo or something like that?
Yeah, it's a great question. Vimeo is a very good, like a lot of our customers, they kind of graduate from YouTube to Vimeo to us. Vimeo is actually a customer of our data product. And then, you know, we're competitors in the video sense. They provide like a really great out-of-box solution for people who don't want a level of customization. They don't want to get involved in kind of like the front end or the back end. For us, we solve all the hardest parts of video, and we let you take care of what you want it to look and feel like on the front end. So much more flexibility. Not to get into the weeds of it, but you know, like we're more flexible on pricing as well. And when it comes down to it, it just kind of lets you create your own jam stack of how you want your product to feel. Because at the end of the day, that's a part of your brand. It's an extension of your brand. So we don't get in the way of anything besides the hard parts, and we let you take care of all the fun design parts. If that makes sense.
Fantastic. Thank you, Nikhil.
Absolute pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thank you for listening to this episode. If you've got any value from it whatsoever, then please do us a favor, like, subscribe, tell somebody, and that will help us to be able to continue to do more of these and help you escape your own personal limits. Thanks for listening.